Alright, hello, welcome to my channel. I'm AvidGamer. Now, this is Streets of Rage 4. This is a game that I've been waiting for a very long time, like pretty much half of my life. And there was probably some of you watching this video that wasn't even born yet when I was playing the last version of this game, Streets of Rage 3. Yeah, it makes me feel old, but you know, I'm just glad the game finally came. I've been waiting for this for like years, absolutely years. So anyway, this is a few clips of the artwork you can unlock in the game and stuff like that. It's always nice to get some extras in your game, unlockable characters, the original music. You can even play the game as the original characters with the original moveset, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to be back in a second. I'm just going to make it look cinematic with a nice little fancy picture. So where to start with this game? I mean, it's such a classic game from the 90s. I used to play this like as a kid every single day of my life, like for, I'm not sure, probably until like I think the PlayStation came out, like the original PlayStation. I think I was just playing the Mega Drive, Streets of Rage 2, 3, a little bit of NHL hockey and a few other simple Mega Drive games, like waiting for the PlayStation. And I think even after the PlayStation came out, I might have even bought a ported version of it. So you know, it's a good game, you know, Streets of Rage 4, you know, they've done the originals justice, you know, they've updated it well. I don't mind the new art style that they've done, you know. To me this is kind of how it always looked in the originals. This is kind of what I saw when I played it as a kid in my head, you know, if that makes sense. You know, I didn't see the little pixelated stuff. This is what I see, probably because I used to watch a lot of anime when I was a kid and stuff, like Akira and stuff like that, Monster City. All the good classic 90s manga, Guyver, all that kind of stuff. So this was kind of how I always imagined it in my head anyway, so the art style doesn't bother me. There's a couple of new characters. I think you just see the previous one, Floyd, in the last clip. This is Cherry. You got your classic characters, you can unlock a few. I don't want to spoil it all for everyone, showing too many levels and all the characters and all that kind of stuff, because obviously if you're a fan of the originals, you're going to want to find out for yourself basically, aren't you? So yeah, I like to compare this game to Doom quite a lot. I know that probably sounds a bit weird to people, especially if you're looking at the new version of Doom and this. Like, you know, this still looks dated, you know, they didn't update this like they have done with the Doom series. But I'm on about like the simplicity of the gameplay and stuff like that. There's enemies that attack in specific ways. You're locked down in an arena with them. You have to work out which one to go for first. You've got no way of blocking or taking cover. For instance, in Doom, you can't block in this. So it's all about moving constantly, and like, you know, you can't just stand there and wait for them to come to you a lot of the time, because you get messed up. Yeah, they still got the little knife guys that run at you and all that good stuff in this, you know. So it's good, it's challenging. It's like a beat 'em up where you have to think quickly and respond quickly, especially when you start playing the later difficulties. I'm playing on Maniac at the minute, which is as hard as you can go, and yeah, it is punishing. You only get like one life, and yeah, you have to make it through each level basically with one life, and there's like double the enemies or triple the enemies or something, but it's fun, it's fun. Now the other thing that makes it kind of similar to Doom in my opinion is not only was it a classic 90s game, is the soundtrack. Doom had a classic soundtrack at the time, still does if you listen to the modern ones, and the original soundtrack to Streets of Rage was always awesome. And they've done it justice in this new one. This level here, Underground, started off like any other level. I was playing it, kind of tapping my foot alongside the music, trying to take out the enemies and that, and then before I knew it, I was getting distracted, I was getting hit a little bit more, and then I was just dancing. That, you know, I couldn't help it, I was just dancing. And when I say dancing, I don't just mean in game with my character. I literally mean dancing in my front room, jumping around like a maniac. Can you hear this? Can you hear this track? Like, there's a lot of good music in this game, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So they've done the soundtrack justice to the original the original game and stuff. Excuse me, I'm getting a little bit of a there we go, that's much better. Alright, so the soundtrack's awesome. If you really want to go back to the old school stuff, there is an option to flick on the old school soundtrack and that, but I haven't done that yet, other than just sitting in the menus. I haven't played through with the old school tracks at the minute, and that's just because I'm still enjoying the new tracks at the moment. You know, some of them are pumping, you know, like I just can't help it, you know. Like, I love music, and this game probably, I know I couldn't help it, I had to do it. But yeah, the original game probably inspired a lot of my music taste, you know. I make music for fun, not so much these days, but there was a period in my life where I used to compose music, and listening to the music back in this game and in this updated game, Streets of Rage 4, really showed how much inspiration I took for some of the classic tracks in my taste in music and stuff like that. Not only just music, I used to kind of model myself on Axel here. You know, I used to dress like him. Even to this day, I still dress like him. My hair's kind of a little bit like his. I've just got dark hair. I've even got a beard. So basically, in the time that Axel's progressed from the last time I seen him to how he looks now, is basically what happened to me in real life. You know, I'm just not quite as big and as muscular, but that's a totally different story. Anyway, this has been Streets of Rage 4. I hope you enjoyed this little sort of first glimpse, first impressions, slight review video, whatever you want to call it. I've been AvidGamer, and yeah, love you, bye.